welcome to Grandma's house. I'm glad you could join me again today. Teddy and I would like to read you a story called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Are you sitting ready to start? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there was a very naughty little girl called Goldilocks. One day, when her mother called her to help with the washing up, she pretended not to hear and went off into the woods for a walk instead. That was the kind of thing Goldilocks did quite often. That day she took a new path and found herself walking past a dear little cottage. The door of the cottage was slightly open and naughty Goldilocks simply couldn't resist. The little girl pushed open the door and in she went. The cottage was quaint and pretty on the inside, just like it was on the outside. Goldilocks went into the kitchen and was very pleased to see 3 bowls of porridge on the table. She was feeling a bit hungry after her walk. She dipped a spoon into the biggest bowl and tasted the porridge. Yuck, she said, that's far too hot, and I'm afraid she spat the porridge out again. Then she tried the middle-sized bowl. Yuck, she cried, that's far too cold. You can guess what she did next. Finally, Goldilocks tried the smallest bowl. She didn't say anything at all because she was too busy eating. That porridge was just right. When she had finished, Goldilocks looked for somewhere to sit down. In the living room were 3 chairs. Goldilocks sat in the big one first, but she got up at once. That chair's far too hard, she grumbled. Then the little girl sat down in a middle-sized chair, but she didn't like that one either. That chair is far too soft, she complained. At last Goldilocks sat down in the little chair. It fit her perfectly. But oh dear, with a creak and a crack, Goldilocks landed bump on the floor. She was too heavy, and the chair had broken into pieces. Goldilocks felt sore in 1 or 2 places. I need a rest, muttered Goldilocks, and she climbed up the stairs and into the big bedroom at the top of the house. There she saw 3 beds, each with a warm quilt. Goldilocks climbed up onto the largest bed and began jumping up and down. This will never do. A bed that's too hard to jump on is too hard to sleep on, she said. Next, she tried the middle-sized bed and curled up in the middle of it. But Goldilocks wasn't comfortable. It's too soft, she said. I might sink into it and never be seen again. Last of all, Goldilocks tried the smallest bed. It was perfect. Before she could think of anything to complain about, Goldilocks was fast asleep. Now, the 3 bears who lived in the cottage had just gone out for a short walk before breakfast. As Goldilocks slept upstairs, they came back into the kitchen and saw at once that something was wrong. Who's been eating my porridge? Asked Father Bear in a growly voice. Who's been eating my porridge? Asked Mother Bear in a soft voice. And who's been eating my porridge? Squeaked Baby Bear. They've eaten it all up. Anxiously, the 3 bears went into the living room. Someone's been sitting in my chair, roared Father Bear in a growly voice. Someone's been sitting in my chair, cried Mother Bear in a soft voice. And someone's been sitting in my chair and they've broken it to bits, sobbed Baby Bear. Follow me, said Father Bear sternly, and he tiptoed up the stairs. Just as I thought, he said. Someone's been bouncing on my bed. And someone's been curled up on my bed, said Mother Bear. squeaked Baby Bear. "And they're still there. Look!" At that moment, Goldilocks woke up. She saw 3 angry bears looking down at her, and she jumped out of bed. She ran out of the room, down the stairs and out of the door, and into the woods before you could say, "Who's that?" Of course, Goldilocks was careful never to go near the bear's house again. Some people say that she was a good little girl after that, but I'm not very sure about that. Are you? What a lovely story. Thank you for listening with us today. Teddy and I hope you enjoyed the story. And we'll say good night to all the bears and sleep tight, and we'll see you again soon for another story time.